The 2015 Lexus LFFC concept. The car that you are looking at here may appear to be a wacky, futuristic concept, but it is in fact an early prototype for the next generation of the LS. This is hinted at by Lexus referring to it as a flagship concept, as well as the fact that the fourth generation of the LS is about a decade old at this point. Since the LS has always been such an incredibly conservative machine, it's a bit of a rare treat to see a concept version where the designers and engineers could really run wild. The concept has just debuted at the Tokyo Motor Show as the centerpiece of the Lexus display. It is powered by a hydrogen fuel cell, a technology that Toyota is already putting into production cars. It may hint at an expanded list of optional drivetrains for the LS in its fifth generation, or it might just be used because that's the sort of thing that you do with concepts. But whatever is used to make it go, the LFFC concept is an interesting idea of the LS, and maybe it will help to correct the sales slide the car has been in for several years. Continue reading to learn more about the Lexus LFFC concept. Exterior. The concept is bigger than the LS, and is also bigger than the production version of the next generation LS is likely to be. The low stance and wide hips look good at car shows, but a production version of the car would probably be roughly similar to the current car's dimensions. The design language is the same as the one that Lexus is using on its current cars, but it is taken to new extremes on the LFFC, and this includes a new mesh design for the grille. The taillights have also gotten a new design, by which I mean they're huge. It's a bold look, and likely to be one of the more divisive features of the exterior. The roof line slopes a bit towards the back in order to give the car a bit of the four-door coupe look that's become so popular, although a need for a lot of rear headroom kept this from getting too carried away. The wheels are carbon fiber, with aluminum spokes, and that is just badass. It's a good-looking car overall, and hopefully a lot of this design will carry over into the production version. Interior. The interior of the LFFC is where the concept really shines. We've all seen 1,000 concepts with spaceship-like interiors over the years, but Lexus has blended just enough practicality with this one to make it look actually plausible. It mixes the usual materials, i.e. wood and leather, as well as the standard soft LED lighting with all of the extra screens everywhere that you expect to see in a concept. Lexus has included a holographic display as a sort of indicator of what the gesture controls are picking up. With the exception of the big one that runs the length of the usually shaped dashboard, the screens are fairly small and tucked out of the way. Part of this is because gesture controls are used for a number of the car's features, and Lexus has included a holographic display as a sort of indicator of what the gesture controls are picking up. It's a good idea, since gesture controls lack any sort of tactile feedback, but just how feasible such a system might be could very well be a different story. There is a lot of rear legroom in the concept, and in place of a rear bench seat there is a pair of reclining bucket seats with pop-out footrests. This is possibly done as a means of attracting more buyers in China, where long-wheelbase sedans like the LS600L are hugely popular. Drivetrain. The LFFC is powered by a hydrogen fuel cell, and the components of this system are spread out through the car in order to optimize weight distribution. The rear wheels are powered directly off of the cell, while a pair of hub motors power the front wheels. That means the car is all-wheel drive, although Lexus doesn't specify whether it would also be rear-biased. There are no specifics regarding power output either, but that's no so unusual, since Lexus isn't even officially calling this an LS concept yet. We can be sure that when the LS does finally debut, it will come in regular gasoline and hybrid varieties, but a hydrogen version seems a bit far-fetched, at least at launch. Conclusion. Lexus has a reputation for turning out very well made, but ultimately fairly dull cars, LFA accepted, of course. This concept shows a lot of promise, and not the way that a lot of concepts do. A production version would surely be smaller and toned down a bit, but some real effort seems to have been made to make the car reasonably practical. Things like individual touchscreens to adjust the seats and control the windows are clearly impractical, and not all of that futuristic technology is going to make it to production. But, it's an appealing car even without those things, and making the production car as similar to this concept as is practical would go a long way toward once again making the LS a real luxury flagship for the brand. Love it. Impressive and well-designed interior, carbon fiber and aluminum wheels, seriously cutting-edge technology for a luxury sedan. Leave it. Those taillights are a lot to take. Calling it a fuel cell vehicle is pointless, since it won't be one. Holographic projector would probably get old fast.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.